Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, coming to you from our studio right here in Modi'in, which is also, as you can see, an office and a gym, but that's lockdown living. How are you all doing? We hope you're all doing well wherever in the world you are. And just a reminder that we bring you the top stories from Israel and surrounds every Monday to Thursday. If you are watching this on Facebook, we would really love it if you share this content. At the moment, there are restrictions in place for these type of posts, and your help goes a long way. And if you're viewing us on YouTube, if you haven't already joined our growing community, we would love it if you do by clicking on the red subscribe button. So let's start at the very beginning with where Israel is with the COVID-19 pandemic. And yesterday we brought you the story that a proposal had been put forward to the government about the possibility of starting to open up Israel's economy, and that has been voted in. So starting Sunday, malls, gyms, and culture will open up to the vaccinated, while synagogues and stores will open up to people who aren't necessarily vaccinated. Israel is about to reach a very, very exciting milestone. 4 million citizens who have received their first COVID-19 vaccine, and we are well over 2.5 million on the second, and I'm excited to report that after this I'm off to get my second Pfizer shot, so I will be fully Pfizered. In other news, Prime Minister Netanyahu has announced that he is in talks with Moderna to open up a vaccination plant right here in Israel, and that will make vaccines more accessible in the future to surrounding countries as well. But there has been a little bit of controversy. Yesterday, 600 judokas were allowed into the country. This is despite the fact that the airways are closed. However, it's very controversial because about 270 Israelis from about 60 defense companies are due to attend the prestigious IDEX exhibition in Abu Dhabi later this month. Now, this is the defense and security industry. It will be the first time that Israel would be participating, and there has been a lot of controversy because the government has said they cannot allow delegations to visit. So we're watching the story closely, and we know that there has been a letter written to the government on behalf of IDEX asking them to reconsider this because of the amount of planning, the amount of money spent by these companies to visit Abu Dhabi. So let's cross fingers that our delegations are allowed to fly. Not allowed to travel, though, are women in the Gaza Strip. A Hamas-run court has legislated that women in the Gaza Strip who aren't married will have to only be allowed to travel as long as they have a male companion or guardian. This further restricts the freedom of movement for unmarried or single women within the Gaza Strip, and they've also ruled that men can also be prohibited from traveling by fathers and grandfathers if something that they are about to do is harmful. And what is very interesting to me is that this is not the type of story that's picked up in the mainstream press, this kind of discrimination against women and the clampdown on the freedom of movement within the Strip. And hopefully, if you're viewing this and sharing this, more people will understand the situation for Gazans under the rule of Hamas. And our final story for the day kind of stays within the Gaza Strip. This week is Child Soldiers Week, and unfortunately it's not one of those massive campaigns that are going to get frontline headlines or people wearing specific badges and campaigning, but we wanted to take a moment to talk about Palestinian child soldiers and the situation for Palestinian children. They are taught from an early age to hate Israel, and in particular to hate Jews. And this makes them ripe pickings for easy manipulation by terror groups within the Gaza Strip who use children as a cannon fodder. Whether it's pushing them to the front lines during riots, as we've seen with the March of Return, or using them as suicide stabbers or bombers like they have in the past, because children don't understand the severity of the consequences of doing this, or engaging in pay to slay, which is making sure that the family of terrorists who have been killed or imprisoned receive salaries. This is a very, very serious issue, and one that we've chosen to highlight today. Coupled with this, we do have an article up on our website and on our Facebook page that takes a more in-depth look at the phenomenon of Palestinian child soldiers. So those are the top stories for today. And just before I dash off to get that second jab, I want to remind you of our website at www.layoftheland.online. We're also on Facebook at Lottle Site. Please join our community there by liking us or following us, share our content, and even engage with us. We do love that. We're on Twitter at layoftheland5, that's at layoftheland5, and we've already told you about that YouTube channel at the Israel Brief, and all that remains is for me to say have a happy and healthy rest of your day. We'll join you tomorrow for the Hump Day edition of the Israel Brief. I'm Rolene Marks. We'll speak again tomorrow.